What's up, Devil Row in the house? See who else we're gonna get in here. Yeah, man. I saw while we wait on some people, I saw you had some new videos out dealing with like looking at videos and giving your breakdown.
Yeah, the reaction videos. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I like that a lot.
Yeah, my best friend, man, he came to me and said, man, you need to put out some content. And I was like, man, I really don't have anything. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I see a lot of these police videos, but there's nobody really out there speaking from the police perspective. There's always people thinking that they should, or what they think the police should do, and they're not police. And I was like, yeah, but I really don't know how to do it because I've never done a reaction video. So I watched a few videos on, you can learn anything to do on YouTube. I watched a few videos on it, and it is easy. I mean, I got like 4 videos in queue right now, just waiting to go up. You know what I'm saying? Because it's really literally just sitting here. You don't have to really edit much because you're talking during the whole video. You know what I'm saying? So it's really easy.
And I love how you came with the law enforcement perspective, because a lot of people don't get that perspective.
Right.
So that was real cool. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I'm hoping more people, but one problem I had, the last video I had, it was like 45 minutes long, and people they wasn't really feeling that 45 minutes. You know what I'm saying? You know how it goes. Citizen to Citizen, what's going on, man? Devil Rose.
What's good?
Sky, what's up? How's everybody? What you gonna be smoking on tonight, man?
I'm gonna be smoking on. You know what I'm gonna be smoking on? I'm gonna smoke on the Have a Great Day cigar. That's LeeMack cigar. So once LeeMack9 jump in here, I'm gonna cut it.
I didn't even know he had his own cigar.
Yep, it just dropped, I think, because I marked this when I actually got it in the mail, and it was July 30th. That's when I put it in my humidor. So that dropped. I'm gonna let him tell a little bit about it, but that dropped and it sold out pretty quickly. I think within a week.
Oh, yeah.
He had it on Pravada Cigar Club.
Oh, okay. You know what? I had to let my provider go because it was just getting to the point where there was so I don't want to, you know what, I'm not even go there because provider, they good people. I don't want to. I just had a bad experience with one of my deliveries. And it was just like, I'm just for right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and let it go because I wasn't. But provider, they're real good people. I mean, they are real good people. They went out their way to make it up to me. So.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah, and I'm still gonna I'm going to resubscribe, but right now I'm just trying to chill out because there was a time where I was getting cigars that I really was not enjoying. Like all the cigars I was getting, I had farm rolled, I had the regular provider, and then I had the special one that what's the name's Picks. What is his name? I can't remember his name. Brian's Picks, yeah. And so I was remember like there were 2 subscriptions in a row, and I didn't like not one of those daggone cigars. And I was like, yo, man, what's going on with this?
Yeah. And that's tough when you smoking stuff you don't like, man.
Well, that's what you get when you go to a subscription. That's why you get subscription. You know what I used to tell people all the time, man, the best way to figure out what kind of cigars you're going to like or whatever, get a subscription and try a whole bunch of different cigars, and you'll see which ones you like more or not. You know what I'm saying? Like if you like the ones that come from Nicaragua, start getting those, stuff like that. So it's but you do risk the fact of getting your whole subscription just being something you don't like. You know what I'm saying? So
yep. I have not ventured out to a subscription yet. So
right.
And partially for that reason, just because I've been out, trying new stuff, because I've only been smoking about a year and a half now, trying new stuff. Right. And some of the stuff I'm getting I don't like, and some of the stuff I'm getting I do like. So I was getting to the point where I was getting too many cigars that I don't like. So then I said, you know what? I got a bunch of cigars that I know I like. I'm just gonna get back to those for a while and just smoke those for a while.
And see, that was the thing too, because that subscription comes if you're busy, the cigars keep coming. And my whole humidor, the middle drawer in my humidor was full of just Pravada. That's all it was just Pravada. So I wanted to get some cigars, and my humidor was full, but I didn't have nowhere to put them. So I was like, man, I'm just gonna have to chill out on the subscription thing right now, because there are some cigars I have to keep some sort of LFD in my humidor. I have LFD is one of my favorite manufacturers. I have to keep LFD, and I try to keep something like a another kind of Dominican or something like that in there also, like a Partagas or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So if I ain't got enough room for that, something's got to go.
So you're saying LFD is one of your go-tos?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. That's like that is a go. If I don't know what I'm going to smoke, it's going to be an LFD.
It's going to be an LFD.
Yes,
and I'm like that with Liga Privada.
Right.
And any of them.
Really?
I haven't smoked the Liga Privada yet that I don't like.
I like Ligas. I love Ligas. Now, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like the price point you're getting out of Liga, you can get that out of an LFD. And that's why I like LFD so much, because LFDs are, to me, LFDs are just as good as the Liga.
Okay. You know, maybe I need to try a few more of them.
Right.
We had that one.
Yeah, you need to try some more, man. If you're gonna try them, try the Cab 5. If you like Maduros, right?
Yep.
If you're Liga, you like Maduros. But Cab 5, that's a great cigar. The Chisel, man, they just got so many cigars that are great, man. They really do. So, and then like, even at a boutique, even at a brick and mortar, you can get an LFD for $11, $10. You ain't getting no Liga for that much. You're getting a Liga for like 18, 20. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you definitely gonna pay a little bit more. That's for sure. You get any new guns lately?
Come on, bro. Come on, man. Yeah, I probably don't go 2 or 3 months without buying a gun.
Yeah, you gotta get something.
I can't go without buying no gun, man. The last one I bought, I think, was the Sig P320 AXG. Okay, that was the last one I got. Hold on.
I think Devil Rowe was telling me he picked up the same gun. I know it was one of the 320s he picked up.
Oh, and I got this M9R2, the 920, the Precision. I don't want to show it on live, but oh, and I picked up two Glock 23s also. Because they was on they was retired. They were retired weapons out of our department. So I picked them up because we sold them to a gun shop that sold them back to the officers for $300. So I went ahead and got 2 of them. Okay. Yeah. You got twins there. Yeah. So you gonna do something different with each one, or you gonna keep them? I said if I was gonna Gucci out a Glock, it'll probably be that one, because I got 2 of them, which I have multiples of different. Like I got 3 Glock 19s. I probably got 4 of the Glock 21s, because 21 is my favorite. Yeah, all the way around, the Glock 21 is my favorite. So I think I got 4 of those. But I said if I was going to Gucci a Glock, it'd probably be that 23, because that's a 40 cal. I ain't really up on 40 cal. I don't like Gucci Glocks. I don't like Gucci guns, period. So if I was going to do one, it's going to be my least favorite Glock, which is that 23.
Del Rose said he got the Wilson Combat 320, and then he put the Wilson Combat frame on it.
Right. I got the Wilson Combat lower, but I didn't get the slide for my regular P320. I was gonna go ahead and do that. But the problem I had with it was I was wanting to do the one that had the compensator on it. Yeah. But I didn't realize, I thought my 320 was a mid-size. My 320 is a full size, so I can't do it like that. I had to wait and get the mid-size. LeeMack.
What's going on, LeeMack? I think you muted.
Yeah, your audio's not on.
Still having a little technical difficulties there.
He said he's gonna hang up and come on back.
Yep.
I think I'm gonna do my LFD.
You gonna do the LFD?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do the LFD.
Yeah, I'm definitely, now that you said it's similar to or in the same category maybe as Liga Privada, I'm gonna have to try some LFDs.
Right.
Can we hear you now, LeeMack? Nope. You know, let him work on it. Now, what's the average price on the LFDs? I'm talking about the ones you think that the ones you really like, the top tier ones.
Like this Cab 5, this LFD Cab 5, you're gonna spend about $12 for it at a brick and mortar.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
No way,
hey guys, let's hit that like button. Hit that like button. Let's make them like match who we got up here, man. We got 6 viewers. We only got 4 likes. We need 2 more. Let's do it.
Hit the likes, y'all. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good, man. I was inside feeding my face, and you know, the wife said it's after 7 o'clock. I said, yeah, it's 7:30. Yeah, I don't think so.
I know how that is sometimes. So
good to see you, Lee.
Yeah, good to see our brothers again as well, always.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you know what? And I know Diesel and I started talking a little bit, but before we continue talking, let's do a quick roundabout, because I want to make sure everybody that's in the chat or somebody that's watching on playback know who's on the screen. So I'm not going to assume everybody knows all of us. So why don't we start with you, Diesel?
Diesel TV, Diesel TV on IG. You can follow me there. You can follow me on YouTube as well. My channel, Diesel TV. You know, full-time law enforcement, and I do YouTube. That's about it.
Diesel put on his sexy voice.
Yeah.
Brother LeeMack.
Yo, LeeMack912. I mean, I wear a lot of damn hats and master none of those hats, you know. So when I'm known online as LeeMack912, I do cigar review channels. I recently put out a small limited run cigar. I give advice. I do YouTube. I do Instagram. Everywhere online you can find me, LeeMack912. Some days I drive a truck. Sometimes I teach people how to drive trucks. And, you know, I do all different kinds of stuff. But that's me. Ain't that exciting.
And for those that don't know, I'm Greyman47. So welcome to my channel. Also do YouTube videos, primarily focused on firearms. Once in a while, I'll weave in one of my other hobbies, cigars, which we kind of meshing together tonight. So I got 2 of my favorite YouTubers on here tonight. These are 2 brothers that I watch on a regular basis. I keep up on all their videos. So if you haven't had a chance to go out and see their videos or see their channels, check them out. Promise you won't be disappointed. Like I said, 2 of my favorites. So we were on here, I think it was 7 or 8 months ago.
Man, it's been that
We did a Smokin talk together. Yeah. So I figured, you know, here's another opportunity for us to do it again. We had such a good time that last go bout. So let's do it again.
Yes,
so before we move on, what y'all smoking? I know Diesel kind of told us what he was smoking. Tell us again, Diesel.
It's a LFD Chapter 5.
Okay.
LFD Chapter 5.
I mean, not Chapter 5, a Cabinet 5. I'm sorry, Cab 5.
Brother Mac, what you got burning?
Yeah, I got from Cavalier. This is the limited edition, 2021 limited edition from Cavalier. I like Cavalier. They always have good cigars. I don't think I've had a bad cigar from Cavalier yet.
I haven't either.
I gotta say, I haven't tried Cavalier yet. That's another one I need to try.
Put that on the list, brother.
I will do.
They're not too expensive either.
Oh, they got a good price point?
Yeah, pretty good. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm smoking y'all can see this. Great Day cigar.
Great Day. I wonder who put that cigar out.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, LeeMack just mentioned that he did a limited run cigar, and that's this cigar right here, the Great Day. And I tell you what, they came in 5 packs. I smoked one already, pretty much when I first got it back at the end of July, and the rest, all other 4, have been sitting in my humidor, just getting all toasty or whatever you want to call it. So I figured I'm gonna wait till we shoot this one and do this together and smoke another one to see if it tastes any different. A month later, actually a little over, almost 2 months later. No, a month later.
Hey, brother, we're talking about. So again, it's always one and done, right? So, but I've been floating the idea of possibly doing a real small run, like a volume 2 of that. But it's going to take at least 6 months to get them ready. So I don't know. We're thinking about it.
See, I had no idea you even ran the first batch. He just told me that today.
And it's funny because, it's hard to keep up with social media, and even people that you follow or whatever, everything they're doing. And I tried my hardest to, put out a lot of different videos and teasers and say, hey, look, this is coming up. And you know how it is. Somebody say, yeah, man, I'm putting this out. It's good. It's going to be fire. It's going to sell. I was like, yeah, all right, whatever. Right. Then after they was all gone, a lot of people said, oh, man, you was right. I was like, I tried to tell you. I wasn't trying to be braggadocious, but I was trying to tell you that it was going to be all right,
Right.
So hopefully if we do the second one, we'll definitely make sure you get hooked up, But I'm thinking about doing a smaller run than the first, so I don't know. It might be you better grab your wallet and run for the store,
Hey, I ain't gonna mess it up. So tell us
how fast did it sell out?
Say again.
How fast did that sell out?
It was 2.5 weeks, and I'm gonna say it was longer than I expected. I thought we were gonna sell out in the first day or so.
Right.
And literally, I have to thank one of my brothers. He bought the last pack and donated it to a brother that was deserving of, wasn't able to get a pack or whatever. So he did help us sell out or whatever. So yeah, 2.5 weeks, which was pretty good, which was quicker than some other big names.
I was about to say, you got some out there. Shoot, Pravada got some cigars out there since day one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. so
I don't mean to be petty, but every once in a while you got it. But look, this is the difference though, right? When you really rock with people and you treat people nice, then people come back and they support you, right? So my family members supported me. They came back and they said, hey, look, I'm gonna get it. Hey, my money is funny right now, but I'm gonna try to get it. Even people on the back end, sent me emails saying, look, I want to get it. Here's my situation. What can you do for me? And so people supported. When you kind of treat your social media fans and family like they just another paycheck to you, and you don't care about them, then people don't care about you either. And then, like you say, your stuff just sits there. Whereas my stuff, people is like, I'm buying it, even if I don't like it, I'm buying it because I support you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I really appreciated when I did my thank you today. If it wasn't y'all, it would have never happened,
Right.
But hey, Diesel, we'll make sure that you get to smoke some, man.
Yes, please. I'll pay double if you hold them for me. I'm just so man. I've been so busy the last few months, man. I haven't been able to keep up with anybody. Like Greyman will tell you, bro. Like it's literally been. Since I got this job, I've probably dropped like 3 or 4 videos since last October. And I just been so busy, especially when I first became the chief, man. It was like I couldn't do anything. So
yeah,
that's all it is.
Devil Rose said I almost died trying to smoke a cigar. You got to smoke the right thing, right?
Yeah, if he ain't never smoked a cigar, he don't need to be getting nothing that's a Maduro.
Yeah, tell us what you were smoking on when you tried it, Devil Rose. So I'm not gonna mess it up. Tell us a little bit about what's the makeup of your cigar.
Oh man, see now you going now you want me to do my own Googles on my own damn cigar. But hold up, I gotta give me a second. I'm gonna tell you.
Okay, take your time.
I'm gonna tell you, it was a blend that was different than what I expected, and it was Let me find it. I know we've got a.
Is it Nicaraguan, Dominican?
It's got some Dominican in there.
Nice.
Got some Nicaraguan in there. So what we got is It was made in Honduras, Mexican San Andreas wrapper, Nicaraguan binder. It's got a double binder from Nicaragua. It's Esteli and Ometepe. And then we also have in the filler is Honduran as well. No, I got that mixed up. The binder's from Jalapa, and the filler is Nicaraguan, Esteli and Ometepe, and Honduran, the Jamastran Corojo. So it was a lot of stuff going on in there.
So is it more of a sweeter? The notes are there more sweeter notes in it than
So, Greyman, I'm gonna ask you because I'm gonna answer the question, but first I want to ask Greyman and see what his response is to that.
Mm-hmm. So for me, there's a little bit of sweetness, not much, just a little bit of sweetness. I pick up, and my palate is new, so it's not going to be the best, but I pick up some leather and then like maybe some dark chocolate notes. That's what I'm getting out of it, and I'm a big fan of leather, so getting that leather is huge for me.
Yeah, the predominant note that people have picked out of this cigar has been chocolate, right? Not necessarily sweet, I agree with it, but the controversial note has been the spice. Now, some people will light it up right where he is and say, man, blast the pepper, blast the spice right away. It's very spicy. Whereas I'll smoke it and I'm like, I don't get that. It does have some creaminess to it. It is the dark Maduro color, but it's not necessarily the strength up front. Then on the back end, it gets controversial again because it either picks up strength to the point where it's like, you better make sure you eat before you smoke it, or you don't, So for me, it's been one of those, for the most part, hey, make sure you eat before you smoke it. But the last one I smoked was kind of like, not so much.
Right. And I'm not picking up, and I don't remember picking up at the beginning. I don't remember picking up spice. I'm not picking up any spice right now.
Yeah. The people who pick it up they seem to pick it up all the time. Like they say it's very spicy, very peppery. I can taste that Nicaraguan spice in there, that Honduran spice that it's all mixed in. They taste it. I don't taste it that way myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that shows you how everybody's palate is a little bit different.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Most definitely.
Great, man. Let me find out you're a bootlicker. You say you like that leather taste?
Yeah, not that kind of way though. Not that kind of way. You know what? I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of leather in my cigars. There's only really one like flavor or note that a lot of people get in cigars that I don't really care for that much, and that's earth. I'm not a big earthy person. And especially when it's a lot of earth and pepper together, that's a big for me. That's a
one I can't stand is hay. I can't stand to get a big kick of hay in the back of my throat. I can't stand that. I mean, it kind of like turns my stomach a little bit. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, it's interesting because the leather is like one of those things that people recognize very clearly, and I must taste it as something else because I never say leather. But if it's it's got leather, I'm going, I don't know. And people try to explain it to me and say, hey, it's like this, a baseball glove, the car seat or whatever. I'm like, I don't necessarily taste that. But again, it's how we taste things different,
Right.
But I agree with you on that earth. Too much earth. I think too much of anything in the cigar is not good. So too much earth is not good. Some San Andreas can kind of give you that earthy dirt, gritty. It almost tastes like you're tasting dirt, like you went outside and was eating a mud pie or something like that.
Right. I think it comes to me as like I said, that hay flavor. It's almost like being in a barn of hay.
Now, did you grow up around farms or no?
No, I didn't at all.
Okay.
And the only reason I know I don't like it is because I hated going to the farm and smell it, because when they just had laid the hay out, it'd be all in the air, and I was like, I can't stand that smell.
Right.
Hey, I'm gonna do let's do a I know y'all I hope y'all like this, but I love doing a quick this or that, where I give you two things and you tell me you pick one or the other, but you can't just pick one or the other. You got to tell me why you picked that one. So, for example, you would do hamburger, hot dog, and you pick which one you prefer. But of course, ours is going to pertain to guns and cigars. So the first one is shotgun or rifle. Whoever want to step up first.
Rifle.
You got to get a rifle. I was going to go rifle too, but you know.
Oh, well, a rifle is just a multi-tool. You can do a whole bunch of different things with a rifle. You can do what you can do with a shotgun plus more with a rifle.
Yeah, I ain't smart enough to know, but you know, I've shot a rifle. I have shot a shotgun, but I figure I could do something more with the rifle than I can with the shotgun. So that's just a guess. It would be a flip of a coin.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I say rifle too. I like that capacity. Like you said, you can do more with it. You got more options. Devil Rose said he agrees too with rifle. Next one, Padron or Davidoff.
Ooh. I'm going Davidoff because that's my side. But I can see why you would go Davidoff. I mean Padron over Davidoff. I started off being a Padron, not necessarily hater, but I always thought they were overpriced back in the day. But I've come to appreciate that they are very consistent and they are the kind of people that don't advertise and they say, here's what the price is, you want it, that's it. So I appreciate that, but I tend to like the creaminess of the milder flavors of the Davidoff over Padron, but they're both good cigars.
I've only smoked a few Davidoff. I've not smoked as many Davidoffs as I have Padron, but every single Davidoff I've loved. There's been a few Padrons I was like, man, why does this cost this much? I have no idea. So I'd have to say Davidoff. And that's why, because it's like, I haven't found a Davidoff yet, even though I haven't smoked as many as Padron. I haven't found one yet I didn't like.
I'm going to go with Davidoff also. Now, I started out as a lover of, I shouldn't say I was a lover of Padron per se, but more of the 26 and the 64, because those are the only two I really got down with. But then I started smoking some of the Davidoff stuff, and I like just so clean. Like, for example, my favorite Davidoff right now is the Churchill Late Hour in the Churchill size. That thing is so clean, like any accurate bitter, nothing, just clean. And it has like some chocolate, kind of like a leathery pretzel taste to it to me. And it's just so good. So I'm going with that. Although I started out with the Padron because I kind of felt like the Padron at one point in time had more flavor, more taste. It was a heavier, more full body type of cigar than what Davidoff was putting out. But I kind of changed over. And I think I'm going more with Padron now.
Nothing wrong with both of them. Both of them are good cigars, man. But like I said, if I'm going to pay that much for a cigar, I don't ever want to have one that's just going to be, you know what I'm saying, just not good for some reason. So that's why I feel the way I feel about Padron. I don't even get Padrons anymore.
I've never felt that I had a Padron that was not good. My issue with Padron has always been, is it worth my money? So, you know, I've had some of their most expensive cigars, and to me, it didn't taste much better. It didn't taste twice as good as the $18 cigar, but it was $36 or $40 or $45 or $50. So, you know, for that price, I want to either have something different or something that's that much better. I don't know.
Right.
But there are people that will fight you over their Padrons. Shout out to my brother Ak. He was like, I did a review on a Padron or whatever, and I just really tore it down. He was like, Mac, that was just disrespectful. He said, "You're my man and all, but that was disrespectful."
Right. You know what I'm learning, because I'm coming again from a different perspective than y'all. But one thing I'm learning is that at one point in time, I love a cigar, and then the next maybe months later, I don't even like that cigar anymore.
You get burnt out. You get burnt out. Yeah.
You know, and in this case, I wouldn't. You know what, Diesel? I wouldn't. In my case, what I'm talking about, I don't even think I got burned out because I wasn't smoking it that much. But I feel like my taste over time just changed. So, for example, here's a good example: the My Father Le Bijou.
Yeah.
First, I don't know, 5 or 6 times I smoked it. I was like, oh man, this is one of the best cigars out there on the market. And then the last maybe 4 or 5 times I smoked it, I was like, I don't even like it no more. So now I don't even buy it. Like, have y'all experienced that? I'm sure you have.
Oh, yeah. But see what I've learned is that even if I smoke a cigar and I don't like it, I always come back to it eventually, just to make sure I didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? So I might go 3 or 4 months. Like prime example, there was a time where I just hated every Fuente I got in my hands. I could not stand Fuente. I didn't care what it was. I didn't want a Fuente. But I just had one maybe 2 weeks ago, and I bought a whole box after I smoked that one. And I was like, that was a great cigar, you know. So it's just one of those things where, you know, even though you might not like it now, like I'll go and I won't smoke LFD for a good year, and I'll go back to it and smoke it for 2 years.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And then you know what happens? Your palate changes and your palate gets refined as well. So like I talked about Cavalier, I was running out the door. I was like, went to my downstairs humidor. I just pulled open the drawer and just grabbed something. Right now, Cavalier has always been a very good, very flavorful. I mean, love that smoke. Tonight I'm smoking it. I'm going, oh, it's okay. It ain't as good as what I remember, you know. So
Right.
cigars change and we change. Also, it all makes a difference of the size of the cigars as well. Like it was interesting that you mentioned that Churchill. People typically won't smoke a Churchill. I like a typical 48 ring gauge and under. I love that size for the flavor. So as my palate has developed, I find that I like smaller ring gauges and I like the flavors. Uh, I was going through one of the big name company catalogs today, and as I was flipping through it, I'm looking through it, I'm looking through it, and I'm looking through it, and I'm going, I pretty much don't smoke nothing in here because all it is, you know, fake Cubans, Cuban-esque type, you know, Rocky Patel cargo, you know, all of the AJ Fernandez bundle cigars, buy a bundle for $60 and all of that type of stuff. I'm going right past that because I don't care how many cigars I get. I don't want that. I'd rather have 3 very good cigars with lots of flavor, not necessarily the strength. I like now medium to full. I like to start medium, end up at full maybe. I'd get 3 of those versus a bundle of those other things that just don't taste like anything. So your palate changes and it gets refined. You ever notice that people will say, "Oh yeah, when I first started smoking, I was smoking infused or flavored cigars." Like, "Oh yeah, I did too. I still go back and smoke them, right?" But after a while, your palate starts looking for something different. You know, you might say, I'm smoking a whole lot of cigars from Nicaragua, and that's all I'm smoking is Nicaragua. And you got that Nicaraguan profile. Then all of a sudden, you wander around into something that's Honduran and Costa Rican, and comes from Peru, you know, some other place, Africa, or whatever. And all of a sudden, you start looking for more, and it's like, that not Nicaraguan that you were smoking, no matter whose name is on the band, it doesn't do it for you anymore.
Right. Oh yeah, he's telling hey, he is right. He is totally right. Because I don't even like there was a time where I could smoke a tobacco. You know, that was pretty much the only infused cigar I could smoke. I could smoke a tobacco. But now I can't smoke a tobacco. I smoked this tobacco a couple months ago and I was like, man, I couldn't even finish it because it's just doesn't do it for me anymore.
Yeah. Yep. Wow. That's crazy. In being a new smoker, relatively new smoker, I never realized that your palate changed like that over time. Devil Rose said, "What's a good cigar?" The one I tried damn near killed me.
A startup cigar?
Startup. Before you answer that, because I want to see if yours is similar to mine. So when I put people on the cigars and they're trying their first one and then new, we kind of tend to do what we did. Like, so I kind of push people where I started. So I started out with like a Java. Yeah. But sometimes I'll start people out with either one of the Javas or Drew Estates or like something like a Fat Bottom Betty or Leather Rose, something in that Deadwood Tobacco bunch. And they typically like one of the two. Like they typically like those to start out with.
How I started off with Connecticut's. I started off with real light cigars first. I never started off with an infused cigar. I didn't even really know infused cigars really existed when I first started smoking. I knew they existed at the gas station, but I wasn't dealing with those. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to deal with anything that came out of a gas station. So I just started off with something like, I can't even remember. I don't even know what it is. I think it's a Rocky Patel, but it's the cigar that you get at the hospital. It says it's a boy.
Yeah. Or
those are Rocky.
Is that Rocky or is that Oliva or somebody? I know the one you're talking about.
I don't know. I can't remember who actually makes it because the manufacturer is not on it. But I heard somebody told me it was Rocky Patel. But I would go to the hospital just to get those cigars when I first started because that's the only place I could find them. And it was a Connecticut, very light cigar, and that's what I started at. And then from that point on, it got to the point where I just needed something stronger. And just like LeeMack said, his palate's changed where he's going back down. I'm starting to go back down now because this Cab 5 right here is starting to burn the back of my neck. The back of my throat right now. So it's like one of those things where, you might go up to the Maduros, but then you might come back down for a little while, back to the mediums, and then go back up. So it changes.
It's not necessarily true that the Maduro is always a strong cigar. That's a big push of marketing that I think that came out of the 90s or whatever. But my suggestion, it depends on where I am, right? So what I'm gonna suggest for you, if you're in the Delmarva area, someplace where you can get Dominican Big Leaguer, almost number one, I'm gonna point you to the Amarillo, that by DBL. That's a good cigar. It's kind of a mild cigar. It tends to lean towards medium, but the flavor is full. So it's got great full flavor and it's got great taste to it. On the infused side, I agree with you. I like that. I like the Isla del Sol by Drew Estates, coffee flavored, light pack, $6 cigar. Doesn't take long. It burns kind of fast, but it tastes good, little sweet or whatever. DBL's got a new one out now called El Final, which has got a sweet tip, infused with some chocolate or whatever. Very good as well. So then I kind of like to slide over to CLE Connecticut. I like CLE Connecticut. I like My Father Connecticut. I like the AJ Fernandez New World Connecticut because those cigars are going to be Connecticut, but you're going to get a little bit of the pepper that the makers like. So they like a little bit of pepper, so introduce a little pepper into it. So when I'm saying, hey, smoke this, all right, now you get a little pepper. What do you think about that? Is that good? Is that bad? Whatever. Then we go from there. Then I slide over to Perdomo and I reach up to the Champagne, Perdomo Champagne. That's going to be a good medium cigar. What I like about Perdomo Champagne is, in the whole Perdomo line, is consistency. So just like Padron, very consistent. So if I buy a champagne in my local shop and I come to your area and buy a champagne, same size, pretty much this cigar is going to smoke exactly the same. And I like the fact that he's got a lot of different sizes so everybody can find their, favorite size, And then from there, it's like the world is your oyster after that, So there's a lot of good cigars. I agree that Connecticut and the Fuse might be good starter cigars. And Devil Row, I hope that you ain't inhaling these cigars. So he's saying it almost killed him. You might have been inhaling. I don't know.
That's why you're about to die if you inhale it.
I always tell people, I say it's not weed. It's not the same.
Right. Right.
So you would say basically something Connecticut maybe for a startup.
Well, see that Isla del Sol is not a Connecticut, so I'm going to say a milder cigar. Now there are some cigars that are milder that are maybe Connecticut. Sometimes they're not Connecticut. Rosa Sharon is another good.
I'm about to say that Rosa Sharon is not a mild cigar at all. Yeah. And it's a Connecticut.
It's a lighter cigar, lighter colored cigar.
Right.
Devil Rowe said he did inhale, so we know why he felt the way he felt.
Yeah.
Yeah, you inhale these things, maybe, and you will feel it. But I know people and some cigar manufacturers and some people that smoke that do inhale their cigars.
I do too.
And it's like that. That's what they do. And I'm like, oh God, I couldn't do that, but that's what they do.
Yeah, I can't imagine that. I know one of the. Go ahead.
I was going to say there's one cigar manufacturer that says that's the only way that I can really get in touch with the smoke is to pull it into my lungs and everything else and just feel all of it.
You gonna feel it. Good Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do both y'all retro hell?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Now,
I'll retro hell almost every time I puff on a cigar.
almost
I'm not
every
like
time.
you, Diesel.
Huh? Would you say
I said I'm
LeeMack?
not like you, Diesel.
Yeah.
Because that retro hell, like now I'm talking. I wasn't retro hailing because I'm talking or whatever, but without the retro hell, there's some cigars you'll miss the whole flavor of the cigar.
The whole flavor.
You'll be like, oh, this cigar don't taste like nothing. You didn't retro hail, but as soon as you retro hail, you're like, oh man, okay, now I see something.
Right.
Yeah. And then
retro hail, great man.
I do, but it's probably like maybe every 5 or 6 puffs.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yep.
I just don't want to see. The thing about me with retro hailing is I don't want to miss the change. When that cigar changes up or something like that, if it changes up, it might not, but if it does, I don't want to miss it. So that's why I usually retro hail. If I'm talking, of course, I ain't retro hailing, but if I'm just sitting there smoking a cigar, trying to get the full feel, the taste of it and all that, I'm retro hailing almost every time.
Mm-hmm.
So what about, this is one of my big things is box press versus cylinder. Because me personally, I don't love box press in most cigars. The only box press cigar I say that I really like, and is one of my go-tos and favorite cigars, is the Oliva Series V Melania. That's in a box press. That's one of my favorites.
So
answer
the question of why not though.
There's just something about them. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Maybe I just had the wrong box press cigars. I don't like the feel of them, and I know this is probably something small to most people. I don't like the feel of them in my hand the same way, and for me, that's part of the experience. I feel like, well, they are more loosely packed most of the time, and sometimes that draw is just too wide open, at least in my experience.
Right. So I'm gonna tell you this, right, and that's a good reason, right? I'm gonna tell you about the loose draw in a second, but I like a box press. And one of the reasons is because I like how it feels in my hand. And even though I have an ashtray over here, I typically always am sitting my cigar down on the edge of the table, somewhere, whatever. So when I have that box press, I know it's not rolling anywhere, right? On your box press cigars how many humidors do you have?
1.
All right. So what you might try to do as an experiment, right? Get a Boveda pack with like a 70. What humidity do you keep your humidor at?
I try to keep it at between 67 and 68.
Okay, you're pretty good. Yep. So get a Boveda pack that's a 70, right? Buy 2 cigars, right? Box press, right? Mm-hmm. Put one in the regular humidor. Put one in just put it in a Ziploc bag with a 70 and seal it up, right? Let it sit there a while, acclimate or whatever. Then smoke that one at 70. And see if it smokes any different than the one that you have at 67, and see if it makes a difference to you.
Okay.
It may not. Okay. You may still hate it, and I'm not saying you won't. I just want to see if it makes a difference. So experiment.
Okay.
So one of my go-to cigars is a new AJ Fernandez New World box press. That's one of my go-to. I like that cigar. That's one of my favorite box presses right there. But it doesn't matter to me if it's box press or not. If it's a good cigar and it smokes well, box press or not, it doesn't matter to me. I do like to sit my cigar down, but I usually sit it in my ashtray. You know what I'm saying? Like I got in my man cave, I got 5 ashtrays just out throughout the whole room. So if I want to sit a cigar down, I can sit it down on my ashtray.
The only time I don't really like a box press, sometimes they'll do like a box press Lancero. Smaller ring gauge cigars, unless you got a factory that is very good at rolling, you tend to end up with a blocked or a clogged cigar with a box press. It's hard to do, but if it's done right, oh man, it's beautiful to me. But it's hard to do.
LeeMack, I don't know if it's just me. I think your audio is in and out. Can you hear that too, Diesel?
Yeah, I think your internet's going in and out because you're your speech is speeding up and slowing down.
Yeah, that could be what you see on your end. It could be, I don't know.
Yeah, that box press though, that AJ Fernandez New World was one that I did like, and one of the ones that I stopped smoking. Like eventually it just started. I didn't like it anymore. Right. But you're right. I'm gonna go back to it. I'm gonna wait a few months. I'm gonna go back to it again and try it out and see. You know,
that's like when Placencia made that big hit in the community, in the cigar community. Everybody wants the Placencia, the hexagon Placencia. Everybody wanted it. I smoked one and I loved it, and I smoked that cigar for a good month or two. I don't want to see another Placencia.
You don't want to see another one?
Nope. I'm good on it right now. I'll wait. I'm good on them.
Yeah, see, and I didn't like that shape. Again, Greyman, you talk about how it feels in your hand. I didn't like how it felt in my hand. It was too big. It was too many sides to it or whatever. I didn't like it, but that's not to say that like the Alan Bradley made the diamond rough cut, and Bravos Conceras, somebody else will do it. One of those things where even like the Yaguas, where they make it with all those funny shapes or whatever, where they pack it all into a palm leaf and each one is shaped different. I don't mind that, but that hexagon, I didn't like the way it felt.
Right.
I'm gonna say this on this great day right now. I'm about a third of the way through. It's that smoke output is picking up, man. I'm a big fan of a good smoke output. The construction on it is good too, real good.
You got a shoe shine on there?
No shoe shine. I don't see any shoe shine.
Look at
my camera picking it up.
Look at that big bird line, baby. I know what that is.
Look at the proud father. The proud father.
Yes, sir. Hey, listen, that's one of them things like this. If you don't know the answer, don't ask the question. I know the answer to that. Now, how's the strength on it though for you? What do you think the strength feels like?
I'm not feeling any nicotine right now. I'm not feeling any rush or anything right now. So I think it's pretty good. And you know what? And I'm a person too. I'm a smoker that I don't like a ton of nicotine. I don't like nicotine bombs, just because I don't like the way it makes me feel. So I like ones if it has some nicotine and I get a little bit of a rush, I'm cool with it. But I've had some, like I had obviously a straight Lajero. I forget who makes it, but it was straight Lajero, and man, I wanted to throw up after I smoked that thing.
Yeah. Now DBL, he does them too. He has a cheroot that's all straight Lajero, and it's like take the challenge. And it's like the challenge is the retrohale. I smoke it, I retrohale it. I'm like, it's okay, but I get you. Somebody answered Devereaux's question about what's the retrohale. We were talking about retrohale, and he's like, well, what the hell is that?
Well, retrohale is basically when you take the smoke up through your nostrils and back out. Instead of inhaling, you just take it up through your nostrils, back out, and you can taste it more in depth in the back of your tongue on those taste buds back in the back of your mouth. That's what I believe retrohale is. Now, LeeMack, you let me know if I'm wrong on that one, but because you're the god when it comes to cigars.
No, not really. It's just like those old cigarette smokers you would see, and they smoke the cigarette, and they blow the smoke out their nose. That's all retrohaling is. So basically, what you're doing is you're drawing the smoke through your sinus cavity and out through your nose. So the idea behind it is what you taste when you smoke a cigar is based on what you smell. So now when you're putting that smoke next to your nasal cavities, now you are tasting different things, or you're tasting it more intense. So that's what the retrohale is. Now, retrohale will, on certain cigar, if it's very spicy or very peppery, it'll make your eyes water, it'll make you start coughing. You just back up and put your cup down because it can be kind of rough. So what I try to tell people when they first start is that you don't have to blow out all of the smoke that you take in. You can blow out half of it out of your mouth, 3/4 of it, then close your mouth and blow the rest through your nose. Just to,
that's what I do. That's what I do. I don't never blow out all my smoke through my nose.
Sometimes I do, but sometimes I have a little retrohead.
Man, listen. I've been in plenty of fights. I don't like my eyes watering, so I don't blow out all the smoke. I usually get away from it.
But it depends on the cigar. of whether you can handle it or not. You know, certain cigars, no. Now, my boy Ock, he's like, that's what I like. He like AJ. He like my father because he likes that pepper. He's like, I like all this tangling up in here. I like my eyes. He likes that feeling. So for him, it's a good thing, you know.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna ask you one more thing. I'm gonna ask y'all one more thing, and then I'm gonna switch up a little bit to the firearms. But I don't know if y'all remember the last time we met up. I was explaining to you that one of my favorite places to go smoke a cigar was Burn by Rocky Patel in Pittsburgh.
Right.
And so Burn, for those who don't know, Burn by Rocky Patel's lounge is kind of like, it's not a traditional type of lounge. It's got a bar, DJ, all that kind of stuff. So it's real cool. It's classy, but it's also kind of like teeters that club kind of feel to it too. So one of the things I realized after going there a number of times since we had our live was that because I started smoking cigars more. And what that meant was I was at home on my deck. I was in my garage smoking it alone. And I was developing my palate and learning what stuff tastes like, what the aromas, picking up stuff from the aromas. Then I realized when I went to Burn, because there's so many people in there and so much smoke, I couldn't even taste. I would buy a Padron, for example, 1926, smoke it and Burn, and couldn't taste any of the stuff I could taste when I'm sitting in my garage. So that kind of frustrated me a little bit because I go to Burn, not really to smoke cigars so much, but more just the atmosphere. I have a drink or whatever and smoke a cigar. But now I feel like I go there and I can't smoke a cigar that I really like because I'm not going to enjoy it. So what I kind of started doing was taking like a less expensive cigar. I even took a factory smoke. I don't even know if I should say that out loud. It's blasphemy. But I took like a factory smoke there because it was like, at that point, I'm just there enjoying the atmosphere, enjoying whoever I'm with, and I'm still smoking something, but not something I paid, $15 for, $20 for. Now, I've never yet gone to a traditional lounge just yet, just because I've never explored it enough or found a place that I felt like I would be comfortable in it. If I go to a more traditional lounge, do y'all think I'm gonna find that same result? Because I know both of you go to lounges. LeeMack, you work in the lounge.
I haven't had that problem at the lounge. I go to a place called Pipe and Pint, and it probably sits like the max people that can sit in there is probably like 15 to 18 people in that lounge. And usually when I'm in there, I don't mind buying a high price cigar and smoking it because I really can enjoy it. Now, when I go to this other places, like what you're talking about, like Burn, stuff like that, I usually try to find a little cheap cigar I can smoke while I'm there because those places, you got a lot, especially if there's women there, you got a lot of people smoking infused cigars. You know what I'm saying? And that would mess up your whole experience when it comes to a whole bunch of people smoking a whole bunch of different cigars and stuff like that. So I don't think you would. I mean, you could have that same problem, but it's more unlikely for you to have that problem at a really traditional lounge than a like a bar kind of atmosphere.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put it like this: every lounge has its own vibe, right? I work at Spartan. If you go to Spartan during the day, I say it's like the old retired men's club, right? So the old guys come out, they sit around, they smoke, the conversation is one way. You might be there on a Friday night, it's a different vibe. The brothers grab up in the back, turn the music on, whatever, that's one vibe. If we have an event like the Final Friday with the DJ and the food and it's a little more crowded, it's a different vibe. I go over to E Squared has got a different vibe. I go to Philly, Lou Liga, he's got a different vibe over there, right? So I think what you should do, you really should not limit yourself. Go. You should just go. When I traveled a lot, when I was working in the office and working for the government, any place I traveled, the first thing I would do was look up the nearest cigar lounge. Now, I'm from out of town. I don't know anything about the lounge, right? I don't know anything about the clientele, the type of people that are there. All I know is that they are there smoking cigars. So I go in, and what I find is that find brothers that like cigars. And so for me, the experience is good. Some places you can go and you can sit in the corner by yourself, and there could be 100 people in there, but you can then sit down and relax and pay attention to your smoke, and you can definitely enjoy yourself. So you got to go out and you got to try it and you got to see. Now, out of the lounges that I mentioned, do I have a preference of one lounge over another? I do. But do I have a problem in any of them? I don't.
And that's what I think I'm gonna need to do is just go out and explore a little bit more.
Yeah, because Burn sounds like a particular type of lounge. In fact, it sounds like the type of lounge that I wouldn't spend a whole lot of time in myself. Not that it's not nice; it's probably very nice or whatever. I'll give you an example. So when I went down to Miami a couple of years ago, we went down to see the NASCAR race. Me and brother Terry went down, so we went to lounges, right? We went all over the place, right? We went to the Monte Cristo lounge, which was the upscale. It had the bar and, the little guy inside the humidor, with the towel. It was like that, right? But then we also went to a little, I won't call it a little hood lounge where the chair my brother was sitting in had 3 legs on it, right? So it was like, man, when you go there, shout out to my brothers up at Black Lion Luxuries in Harrisburg, another type of lounge, another type of vibe. But we had a good time in all of them. But where I would typically go back, there was one where it was like a little store and they sold newspapers. They had a humidor. They also sold cigars and they had a table out front, 2 tables out front with chairs. So we were able to sit outside in those 2 chairs, watch the people, watch the traffic or whatever. That was probably the one we would go to the most because it was less pretentious. We didn't have to have a 2-drink minimum. We didn't have to worry about, tipping the barmaid and, all of that type of stuff. We were there to smoke cigars and have a good time. So you got to go find the lounge that fits you. That's why when people join a particular lounge, they typically will join the lounge that fits them the best.
And Burn like I said, I like the vibe at Burn. That vibe for me is perfect. It's just I can't enjoy cigars in there anymore. So it's like, you know what I mean? So when I go now, I just go for the vibe itself, just to be out, just for something to do, and then I pick up a cheap cigar while I'm out there.
Right. So you're not going there to smoke cigars and enjoy cigars. So that's not your enjoy cigar lounge, but you might find that there's another lounge that is perfect for you to go and sit down and have, a good cigar. My brother Dion Smith came up from Georgia, and we sat around and Spartan around in the back with the brothers, and he was like, man, I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed the adult conversation that I was able to sit around with the brothers and sisters and have and smoke a cigar. He was like, I really needed this. This was great, So, but if the music was playing and we couldn't do that the same way we did it.
Right. So Diesel, before you got on LeeMack, we were talking about Diesel was doing some new videos, and his videos were taking other videos, looking at them and kind of critiquing them from a law enforcement perspective. So my question to you is, Diesel, I've been thinking about this for a while. Yeah, that's heavy, right?
No, because I got a question, but go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And one of the things that happens from time to time, obviously we know. Well, first, let me go back. You did a video not long ago on another YouTuber, fellow YouTuber, who did a video where he had all kinds of guns and gear and stuff on and was pulled over by the police.
Right.
But that's if y'all didn't get a chance to see that, go back and check that video out. It's a good video, good critique from Diesel. But my question is, because a lot of regular folks that don't have all that on, like me, for example, I've been pulled over by the police and I have a gun on me, concealed, licensed, the whole nine yards. Pennsylvania is one of those states where you're supposed to inform police officers when you are carrying, which I did. So can you give us some tips? Because I know a lot of people have a false sense of what they should or shouldn't do when they get pulled over, whether they are carrying concealed or not. Well, specifically carrying concealed.
Well, okay, so let me just start off by saying this, and this is just human nature. You don't hide something you're not doing wrong, right? So as a human and as a police officer, when he walks up to your car, if he feels like you're trying to hide the fact that you have a gun, then he's going to think there's something going on. There's something wrong, right? So why not just tell him, even if the law doesn't require you to do it or anything like that, why not just tell him? Just so you know, he knows you don't hide anything. You're not trying to be any kind of, a criminal or anything like that. You're just trying to let him know you do. I do have a gun on me. I do have a concealed carry, or it's in my glove box, wherever it is. Why not let them know that first? And that just lets the officer more at ease from start. And then from that point on, just follow directions. Just listen to what the officer's saying and go from there.
Now, I'm going to come from the other side of it, right? Because I'm not law enforcement. Maryland might be one of those states where you don't have to do that. And I have been pulled over with the gun concealed or whatever. So my theory is concealed, right? So, hey, listen, I'm paying attention. I'm listening to you. You can see my hands. I'm not making fast movements. I'm going to let you know what's going on. I want you to go home safe. I want to go home safe. But I'm not adding any extra spice into the mix. So for me, that's it. So I'm not reaching down into my pocket for my license and all that. When you come up, I've already got it in my hands or whatever. So I don't have to make any fast movements or whatever. But I'm also then not going to say to you, hey, listen, I have a gun on me. Now, if you ask me, that might be a different story. Right. But if you don't ask me, I don't know that I'm telling you.
See, the problem that I see with that is you can't trust every cop.
True.
And why give him a story to make up where he can say you were reaching for something he didn't know you had? You get what I'm saying? That's my only thing about it is.
And I kind of feel the same way. You can't trust every cop, so why give him something else to be able to have an issue with?
But it's harder for a cop to fight in court that you were trying to hurt him if the first thing you tell him is you got a gun.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? That's the thing about it. So when it comes down to it, the whole story, when it comes down to when we're dealing with police officers and stuff like that, don't give that officer an out.
But here's the thing, though, right? Here's the thing, right? If you are following the law, right, and the law says, hey, listen, you must be licensed, you must be concealed, you're following the law and you have the rights. It's like I'm not doing anything wrong. So therefore, why do I have to now say to you or prove to you that I'm not doing anything wrong? I don't have to tell you that, hey, listen, I've got, whatever in my trunk that's in there that's locked up, because I'm not in my trunk and I'm not doing, and I'm following the law. So it's just too much. I don't know. It may be where I am from, where I come from. I'm like, the less you know, the better off it is for me.
LeeMack, you make a very good point. All I'm saying is that story works very good for an officer that is not crooked.
Right.
And you're talking about the possibility of an officer may be crooked. Why risk that? That's all I'm saying. You don't have, if it's your right not to say anything, if you're in a state where you don't have to tell them that you have a concealed carry, you have that right. You have that total right.
Well, but let me ask this question though, right? Because I got a cousin that's a state cop. If I'm not wrong, you run my license and you run my record. You already know that.
No. I know you have a license. I don't know you have the gun on you though.
Oh, right. But I have a license, right?
Right. I know you have a concealed carry license. And you know what? If I walk up to a car, see, in North Carolina, you have to inform. If you have a concealed carry permit, you have to inform the officer that you do have that weapon on you or not. Mm-hmm. If I see that the person I pulled over has a concealed carry permit, and you can see it on my YouTube channel, if they don't tell me they have a gun, I say, hey, I see you had a concealed carry. Do you have that gun on you? They say no. I say, why not? That's the first thing I ask is why not?
Right.
You purchased that concealed carry to protect yourself. Now you're unprotected. Mm-hmm. You need to carry that thing everywhere you go, unless you're going to be drinking or something like that, of course.
Right.
But I don't understand why people pay for these rights or pay for these. Carrying a firearm and being able to protect yourself is a right. You know what I'm saying? You should be allowed to do that. You shouldn't have to pay for it. I totally believe that. But that you did pay for it and now you're not even using it. It's a waste. And my thing about it, like I said, it's just I've heard so many stories from police officers where it's like, I don't know, man, this person's saying one thing, but that person gave that officer an out, and it's like, who am I supposed to believe, you or them? You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem.
So what are your thoughts on? I'm getting pulled over. I'm pulling my camera phone out, or the person who's with me is in the passenger seat, and they're going to record as well. And I'm going to tell you before you answer that, I did have that happen one time, and I had my daughter in the driver or the passenger side. She pulled hers out and was recording, and the police officer came to the window, talked to me, whatever. He said, "Hey, I see that you're recording." He said, "I have a body camera on. I respect that." He said, "That keeps both of us safe." And he was right. He was cool with that. He was perfectly fine with that. Now, I don't know. Could I have run into a police officer who might have had an issue with that? Is there an issue?
Man, it's a possibility to run everything, but those are the ones that got bullied at school. You know what I'm saying? Like the bottom line when it comes down to it, if you got a camera on, you ain't gonna do anything that's gonna make you look bad in that camera. So I'm happy you got your camera on, because I got my camera on, I'm gonna act right. You got your camera on, you gonna act right. So there shouldn't be a problem. The problem comes in is when that person that got bullied and he thought he can talk to you any kind of way, or he's going to be able to talk to you any kind of way, and now he can't because you got your camera on.
Right.
So yeah, any officer that gets mad because he's being recorded is because he's not able to act how he wants to act. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this particular one, he was cool. He was like, "Yeah, I respect that." He was like, "I keep both of us safe." So
now there was a time I did arrest a guy that was recording, and the only reason I arrested him is because he wouldn't step back. He wouldn't give me enough space to focus on what I was doing, and he was trying to get too close, and I kept on telling him, and once I have to take my attention off of my suspect to deal with you, you have interfered in a police investigation. And if I have to keep on telling you that, then you go, that's the problem that people come into, is feel like because they got a camera on, they can just go wherever they want to, and that's where the problem comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I agree. It's a matter of respect on both sides. You watch things online or whatever, especially with some of the younger folks or whatever. It's like you see people get arrested, right? Typically the young girls, right? You ain't doing this. Why you doing this? It's like, look, just step back, figure it out. And I was always taught, listen, if it's an issue, then we'll just talk to the judge about it. Take your ticket, do whatever the case, and then we'll fight it another day. Live to fight it another day.
Right.
But this whole lack of respect thing kind of is like, you're not gonna do me like you do whatever. And then there's some bad officers, and it's not saying the majority of them are bad. There's some bad officers, like you say, you got bullied in school. Now I grew up next door to a guy who was that type of officer who I grew up, and dude used to babysit me, and I would not want to be pulled over on a dark night by him, because that's the type of officer that he was. I am the officer. You're going to pay attention to me. All right, listen, I'm not going with that. So
right.
It's just like, you give respect, you get respect. Now, if you give respect and they're not giving it back to you, it's like, all right, look, I understand you get pissed off, but the bystanders a lot of times make it bad for the person that's being questioned or whatever. And a lot of times you see the officers say, look, man, I was just going to give you a ticket and send you on your way. Now you escalated this into a whole situation that didn't have to be. Oh, now I'm searching your car, and now I found this stuff in here that I wouldn't have known was in there if you had just shut up and kept it moving,
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Yep. And like the guy in that video that did the YouTube video, and this is not anything against him.
No, he was doing it for clout. That's all. He did that for clout.
But the crazy thing is, and I don't know. I mean, I feel like that was pretty extreme in terms, but there are people who are out there doing stuff similar to that.
Yeah.
And they're not even doing it for YouTube. They just doing that. Just like I did a video about a person I saw. It was a young person I saw in Walmart. In the midst of all of this stuff going on, all these shootings and everything else, the climate the way that it is, and you walking around with like a Glock in your pocket with a 30-round magazine, 33-round magazine sticking out. And you walking around, you know what I mean? Like that's to me, that's stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are the ones that just want attention. They want people to see them carrying a gun.
Right.
You know, I do not want anybody to know I have a gun on me unless I'm in uniform. That is it. That's it. If you're walking around, in some states they require you to open carry, I get that. But if you're walking around just so people can see you have a gun, because North Carolina is an open carry if you don't have a concealed carry. But you still have people that carry small guns and they open carry them because they still want to keep it as concealed. I mean, you know, as small as possible. But those ones that walk around with that 30-round magazine, what is that for?
Right.
What is that for? The only people that carry 30-round magazines are the thugs that shooting each other in the streets.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's like when I took my training, the instructor came in and he had, and you talk about concealed is concealed, right? So he stood in front of the class and said, you know, do I have a gun or do I don't have a gun, right? Didn't look like he had a gun on him at all, right? And as he started pulling out, I mean, he pulled out several full-size pistols and a couple of the micros. He must have had 5 or 6 guns on him, right? And his point was, if walking up to this building in Baltimore, if somebody stuck a gun at me and said, you know, hey, give it up, he said, I would give it up, right? He said, because I'm standing on the corner, I've got however many guns you see on me, but everybody around me may also have it. So listen, what's the purpose? My purpose is not to get into a gunfight. My purpose is to go home, you know? So, you know, it's just too many people, like you say, they want to be Rambo and, you know, hey, look at me, like you say, look at what I got. You know, it's like you say, when you run around with a 30, it just, what is the purpose? You know,
let me give you a description of this guy, LeeMack. This guy was sitting in his car riding around with a full bulletproof vest on. It had 3 rifle magazines in the front. Behind those 3 magazines was a gun stuck out of the top of it. And then he had another concealed gun in his appendix.
Yeah.
And he's walking around with a mask and some glasses on and all that stuff. And in the video, he said, I know my car does not have a registration and I was speeding. Come on, man. Come on.
Bro, please.
Right. You can't explain that. He was trying to get stopped with all that stuff on him. And then this is the thing that really got me with the story was he was planning on dropping that car off at a mechanic shop, right? But in the trunk, he had like 5 or 6 more automatic rifles in the trunk.
Right.
And I said, if you're dropping your car off at a mechanic shop, why you got all these guns in there?
Right.
Where you gonna put them?
Right.
Because I wouldn't trust all my guns just sitting at a mechanic shop.
Maybe he's gonna walk home with them.
Right. I mean, his story just didn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? So. Right. But you see that a lot though. You see a lot of people trying to go out for like clout. I've seen videos where people just walking around with a rifle. There was this one video where these 2 guys walked into a police station with rifles on their chest.
Yeah.
A police station. That's a federal offense.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
That's crazy.
And so Diesel, I got a question. We came up with this topic, right? We talk about YouTubers and things they do.
Right.
Everybody's seen this guy. Your thoughts. I forget what his name is. Hey, I'm gonna teach you how to disarm somebody that's pointing the gun at you or whatever. You reach and grab the slide. And you know who I'm talking about.
The dude from Detroit. Is it Chicago or Detroit?
One of them. Detroit. Detroit.
Yeah. He is a joke.
I saw him the other day on with Black Rambo, and I was like, somebody's gonna shoot his ass.
He is a joke, man. He's a joke. He's gonna end up getting somebody hurt. He is really going to end up getting somebody hurt. I could see him having a lawsuit pretty soon because somebody got hurt doing what he's teaching people to do.
Yeah, because this to me again, like I said, you pointed at me, give it up. You know what? All right, you got it. I'm not trying to reach up and grab your slide and this, that way. I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah, that's stupid, man.
And you know, as quick as it is, somebody, and you know, people nervous, they got their finger on the trigger. How hard and how quick is it for you to pull that trigger while you trying to figure out how to do it? I just don't believe it, you know.
Right. Well, you know, there's that one video of that guy that was in a store in California, And the thug came in there with a rifle, and the guy shot him with the shotgun, and the thug was like, "You shot my arm off."
Yeah,
Did y'all see that video?
His arm off?
Yeah, man. Because the thug walked in. You could tell the thug did not know what he was doing with that shot, with that rifle. I mean, you could just tell it was an AR-15. He just did not know what he was doing. But it's an older white guy, and he just picked that shotgun up, held it at his waist, and boom, and shot him in the arm. He was like, "You shot my arm off." But even with that was a lucky shot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like, sometimes it's not worth risking. Some people are just like, "You're not gonna take my stuff. I don't think any of my possessions are worth my life."
Nope, me either.
So I mean, even though I got 4 guns sitting right here next to me, I'm still like, if you coming through my door and you get the jump on me, you got to jump on it. I got to get what you get.
And that's what it is. And you know what? I think a lot of people don't understand it, especially new gun owners. A lot of times, and maybe even so younger gun owners, that just because you have a gun doesn't mean somebody can't get the jump on you. Right. It doesn't guarantee you safety. It gives you a better chance. It gives you a fighting chance, but it does not guarantee you safety. And that's what some people don't get.
Well, see, a lot of people
then they walk with their chest poked out, and they get in situations they shouldn't be in because they feel like, I got this gun and now I'm invincible.
Well, see, and I tell a lot of people this also. That gun does not turn you into a first responder. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have people that got guns and they'll hear gunshots and they'll run towards the gunfight and they got their whole family standing behind them. And I'm like, yo, that gun is to make sure you and your family get home. That's exactly it. Don't care about all the other people that's involved in that shooting or whatever it is going on. Turn your butt around. Leave that up to me and my boys. We coming.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't do that. And I'm a firearms instructor too. I do concealed carry and all that stuff. And you see the people that come in those concealed carry class. Like here recently, I just had a class, and 2 of the ladies in the class, I had to fail them out because they kept flagging my instructor. Yeah. They would have a malfunction and they pointed at themselves. They did it twice. They pointed at themselves and then they're pointing straight at the instructor with the malfunction still, the bullet still in it and everything, not knowing if it was loaded or not. You know what I'm saying? So I just had to fail them out. I mean, I'm sorry, but I've told you what the rules are.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to realize that's life or death, man. It can't. Yeah. No room for error.
Right.
Speaking of women, because I've had this conversation, not a lot recently, but recently. When you teach and train women, one of the things I hear women say, "Oh, I'm gonna get a nice little gun to put in my purse." And me personally, I always say purse is like last case scenario where you want to actually carry a firearm. Do you tell females the same thing, or do you support purse carry per se?
What I support is training. I don't care where you carry that gun. Somebody could get their gun out of their purse quicker than you can get it off your waist if they train. So if they want to carry it in their purse, that's fine. But don't have it to where they're not. If you're gonna put it in your purse, don't be the type of person that won't hardly carry your purse around. Right. Don't be the person that's not always reaching in your purse. Don't be that person. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, if you are, it needs to be the woman that always has a purse on her, regardless. That's the one that needs to put it in their purse. You know, because some women wear dresses. Who wants to hike their dress all the way up just to get a gun out? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so sometimes a purse is the only thing they got. But if you train good enough with it, that's just like ankle carrying. I used to always say, do not carry your gun on an ankle, until I saw this one guy pull that gun off his ankle so quick, I thought he did a backflip. And I was like, okay, hey, listen, he must train because he did that quick. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's the key right there. Like what you just said is the training. And that goes to whatever way you carry. But I feel like even more so with the purse, just because that's a whole nother thing that's not attached to your body.
Well, you can say that, but women thinks a purse to a woman is like a wallet to a man.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Well, it's really not. I don't think it's like that for a lot of women when it comes to purse. You know what I'm saying? So we can say that because we're in the outside looking at it. The only reason I say that because I did have one woman that she qualified with her purse, and she was one of the top ones qualified.
So she qualified drawn from her purse?
Yes, because how I do my classes is I ask each person how you're going to be carrying that gun, and that's how I would like for them to qualify. They don't have to, But I would like for them to qualify that way so they can see while their heart rate is up, because this is a pass or fail, their heart rate is up and they can see how effective they are drawing from that position.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah. I was impressed.
Yeah, she must.
Even though she was shooting a little 22, she still passed.
Yeah, but I agree. I think the training is like one of the best parts of the things that happens, and then you also have to. You can't, do the training, qualify, buy your weapon, all that stuff, and then, when's the last time you shot it? Oh, I never shot it. Oh, when's the last time you went to the range? Oh, like 5 years ago when I bought my gun. Like you gotta go out and you gotta do it. One of the things that I love when the class that I took was the guy explained, like you say, in those stressful situations, yeah, we have all of this. Here's how you're supposed to stand in this stance and, this thing and that, whatever. He's like, sometimes you're not going to be able to do that. Sometimes it's just get it out from your holster and you're going to shoot from your hip. Like you said, the guy did at the store. I ain't going to have time to do all of that or whatever. Now, can you hit the target at that type of thing? Can you do it when you're on the ground? This type of thing, because it's not always going to be the perfect, okay, you're this target, you stand straight in front of me, let me get in my stance, and then now I'm going to fire and shoot you and stop you. That's not what it's going to be,
Right. Totally right.
Now I don't know about y'all, but I've been slacking on actually getting to the range. I need to get out a lot more than I do. But I definitely need to, just because I feel, and I tell people that I know that carry too, is if you're gonna have a gun and you're gonna take on that responsibility to carry a gun when you out, and potentially, hopefully never, but potentially end up using that or engaging somebody with that, you want to be at least the best that you can be, the best you in that situation.
Well, I mean, listen, Gray Man, and I'll say this: if there was a time where, before I really got into firearms instruction and telling people how to deal with guns and stuff like that, I would go a year without shooting a gun.
Mm-hmm.
When I first started as law enforcement, I'll go a year. But in that year, I always sat down and I dry fired my weapon at least once a month. I would sit down and take an hour. I would rack it, put a penny on the front sight, hold it up, and pull that trigger. And if that penny didn't move, I was good. And that's what that was my practice. And every year I still scored a 100. You don't have to necessarily live fire. It's just feeling that gun in your hand and feeling that trigger.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because once you shoot a gun, you get the bare minimum down of knowing recoil mitigation, things of that sort when it comes to firing a weapon. You don't have to live fire. That's muscle memory. You get what I'm saying? So you got to get that trigger pulled down. Once you get that trigger pulled down, you're good.
Mm-hmm. That was one of the on our last one. That was the gem that I took from that one, and I've been using that penny thing, and I like that. I think it's helped a lot.
Oh yeah.
So LeeMack, the last time we met, I think you had a let me try to remember what your EDC was. Was it a Bertha?
Yep.
380 or 9mm?
It's a 9. Yep.
9mm.
Yep.
I know you said you were thinking about getting something else.
Yep. Still am.
Still, yep.
Still am. I'm still looking at that Sig, that P365 XL.
Yep.
Because the Bursa feels a little heavy to me, and there's times when I'd like to maybe carry something that's a little bit lighter. So I don't know. So I even went to the store and I looked at it or whatever. I got to go to the range and see if I can find one to shoot or whatever. Some buddy of mine said he likes the Hellcat. So, I'm like, all right, I don't know. So, but I'm still kind of partial, I think, to the Sig. So
I like the Sig. I like the Sig way better than the Hellcat. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
I would second that. I have a Sig 365. It's not the XL.
Yeah.
But I do carry in it the 12-round magazine, which makes it an XL. Like when I'm carrying it, the 12-round magazine is in it. That's the same thing as the XL.
Right.
So I love it. I mean, and it's in that Bursa, the frame is aluminum, right? It's not polymer.
Yeah, it's all metal frame. It's all metal gun.
Yeah. So yeah, you're gonna probably feel a decent weight difference with that Sig, that 365. It's gonna be a little lighter.
Right.
But yeah, if you get to the range and you can shoot it, that's where you really gonna know if it fits.
But see, this is one thing I liked about what LeeMack said, and a lot of people don't do this.
Mm-hmm.
He said he wants to go to a range and see if he can shoot it first.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't do that. They go out and get a gun and think it's going to be the thing. You know, this is what they told me to get. This is and that. And you know, you have people that come out to my class, and that's the first time they've ever shot that gun, and they find out what a 40 caliber really is. You know what I'm saying?
That was me.
Right. So, I mean, it's one of those things, like I tell people all the time, if you're shopping for a gun, shop for a gun. Take it for a test drive. Go out there, take it, rent it, go shoot it a little bit, see how it feels in your hands, because
on target, man.
If somebody, like LeeMack, you said, your boy said he likes the Hellcat. I will tell you right now, the Hellcat has a little bit more recoil than that Sig P365.
Right.
But if you just listen to your friend and you got that Hellcat, it might be the ride of your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's what I say. That's why I like that. I like when people say, "Yeah, I want to go shoot it first before I actually get it."
Yeah, because I mean, any gun can look nice,
right?
But does it fit your hands? Does it, are you able to shoot it well? So it's not a matter of how it looks. I want something that's in my hand that's an extension of me that I can shoot well and hit the target consistently. Right. You know.
Mm-hmm. Now, for guys like me, it's got to be both. I like for a gun to look good and work well at the same time.
I don't care how I look, as long as I can hit target, I'm good. I could care less how that thing look.
See, now I'm a little bit of both. Now I'm gonna tell you, I've always liked the look of the 1911.
Yeah,
that 1911.
LeeMack, that's why I like you so much, LeeMack. 1911 is my favorite platform. Period. Hands down, my favorite.
Yeah,
that's definitely a good platform. I've shot guns that I'm like, man, this gun shoots. I like the way it shoots. I like the way it feels, but it's ugly, so I'm not getting it. Like, it's got to be both. I got to have both. Because when I look at it, I want it to be enticing look, the look of it too. If I'm at the range with somebody and we're talking about it, I like it to look good.
So, so let me ask you this.
What's that?
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me, if you're at a range, right?
Yeah.
You get the ugliest gun you have ever seen in your life, but you hitting bullseye with every single bullet. You ain't gonna get it.
Nope.
Boy, you crazy.
Nope.
Hey, listen. Now I understand what you're saying. That's the reason why. That's the very reason why I don't own a Glock, because I'm like, they're the ugliest guns made to man to me. And like, we went to class, they had specials on them. I'm like, that gun is just ugly. I just don't like it.
See,
you need to shoot it. You need to shoot. I'm telling you.
Right.
You might, and listen, you might shoot that gun and be like, I can get in a competition now.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people feel that way about Glocks. I personally think Glocks, they got a uniqueness to them. I think they look kind of good in a way. Not like a 1911 good, but a different kind of look.
They just too blocky and square looking to me. So for me, it's just ugly. It just ain't nothing sexy about a Glock to me at all.
Yeah, I grew up on Glocks, so I got, man, I don't even want to tell you how many Glocks I got. I got a bunch of Glocks.
Now, Diesel, since you're a big Glock guy, and I know you're a Sig guy too. What you go on with, Sig or Glock? If you can only pick one.
I've said this before, and the only reason is because I am a certified armor for a Glock.
Okay.
So I would have to go with a Glock. If I had one gun I had to pick, because I can fix a Glock from top to bottom, replace every part in it. Sig has a lot of working parts to them, and I've never been certified as an armor with a Sig. So that's the only reason I picked Sig. But I shoot a Sig better than I shoot a Glock.
Mm-hmm.
So
I would agree. I feel like I shoot the Sig better than the Glock too. And I think because of the grip angle, it's more of a natural grip angle, more straight up and down than the Glock is. But I'm going to say this, as far as Glocks are concerned, the one Glock, and I think I said this to you before, that I shoot extremely well is the Glock 21. If I had to pick one handgun outside of like the staccato and all of that, the one handgun that I've shot, if I was in a handgun, you know, in a battle with a handgun, it would be that Glock 21. It's just so smooth. And that recoil pulse, I have a Gen 4. The recoil pulse on it is just smooth.
Right. Right. So LeeMack, when did you take your concealed carry class?
Oh man, this is about 3-4 years ago now.
Oh, okay, nice.
Is that required in Maryland?
Yeah, and Maryland was yeah, it's required. Maryland is one of those states that is kind of hard to get a concealed carry. So you know, you had to take the class, had to have a reason why you had to carry it, you know, concealed, yada yada yada, you know.
A reason?
Oh yeah, you had to have a reason. Yeah, a reason. Then you had to go meet with the state police and tell them your reason. They had to, you know, see what they thought about you before they approved it. Yeah,
Oh.
Maryland is one of those hard states, you know. Not as hard as like New Jersey, but you know.
Right.
See, now you have to apply for a concealed carry here, but you don't have to have a reason. You just apply if your record's straight and you get it.
No.
It's Pennsylvania too.
You either had to have a validated threat where there was a case where somebody was threatening you, or you had something like that. You had to be a business owner, something where you carry cash. You're dealing with the public, blah blah blah. So you know, because I was a realtor, would meet with people, open houses, could be late hours. That was like part of the reason, part of that business thing or whatever. But yeah, other than that, it was no. And then when they first gave us the license, there was a restriction on it which said you could only carry to and from while you were doing business purposes. So if I was going to Walmart, well, I couldn't necessarily carry because I wasn't necessarily going to go show somebody a house.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Then they changed it and they took the restriction off, and so it's a little easier now.
About 20 years ago or so, maybe a little longer, PA was like that. You had to have a reason, like a business owner or carrying cat. And they changed that too. But yeah, I know exactly how that feels. Like that's not good. No, I didn't realize Maryland was still doing that.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing now because, like I said, it's been about 4 years or so since I've had it. I don't know what the rules are, and then with the new Supreme Court ruling, I don't know if that changes anything or not. You know,
right.
Wow. Burn line good on here.
I was going to say, our president says if he gets 2 more senators, he going to shut all y'all down. So, you know.
I know, right?
We got to pay attention to the politics.
Most definitely. It's
going to be a problem, especially down south. That's going to be a problem.
You know, I've always said in states where, you know, it's easy to carry, like, you know, up here, we would have a lot of carjackings and all that or whatever. And I'm going, just back in the day, I was like, it ain't carjacking nobody in Texas because grandma got a pistol and everything else.
Yeah.
You know?
It don't happen here in North Carolina either.
And listen, I remember going to down to Alabama with some relatives, and one couple were federal agents, you know. So the old aunt, she was about 80-some years old or whatever. So she asked my brother-in-law, she said, did you bring your pistol with you? He said, yes, ma'am. She said, all right, just leave it away. Don't take it out because everybody around here got guns. So just, you know, he's a federal agent. She's like, yeah, just keep it away. Just don't even try it.
Don't bring it out.
Don't bring it out because, hey, we armed.
Hey, what's the saying? An armed society is a polite society, right?
They're going right.
That's it.
You know?
Yeah, I get people say we need to do something, but I don't understand the idea that, hey, listen, law-abiding citizens, we want to take the weapons away from, but what about the criminals? Criminals are not paying attention to any of those laws that you're talking about. So, you know, you look at a tough state like New Jersey and New York or whatever the case is, and the criminals are using the guns, but you think they went through all of those processes? No, I got it in a brown paper bag on the corner from Pookie, you know? So
Right.
What's up, Stacy? Stacy said, good evening, gents. Bright side, you don't live in California. We're trying, but it's a battle over there. We know
California is bad. Now, California has a list of approved guns, and The list is so old, man. It's ridiculous out there, man. And then the list gets smaller and smaller every year. So
10-round mag too, right?
10-round mag capacity. I've never understood it because you have places like Chicago, one of the most strictest states when it comes to gun laws, but the highest crime rate when it comes to gun crimes. And people just don't make that correlation. I don't understand why they can't. 2 and 2 is, 2 and 2 is 4. 1 + 1 is 2. Why can't you just see that and understand that the less guns you give to your community, the more crime you're going to have?
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna tell you what. If we can get people to just understand that they need to do what they need to do to support those folks that are going to help us keep our rights, we'll make some headway. I mean, there's still a lot of people out there who are against guns simply because they're afraid of guns themselves. If we get more people to actually go out, like the more people we take out to the range, the more people we touch, the more people you're gonna have fighting the fight. But there's I still run across, because if you think about it, think about the people you know between work, your family, friends, how many people you know really carry guns or even own a gun? There's still a lot of people I know that don't even own a gun and are not even in a position where they're thinking about owning a gun. I think that number has increased a little bit more since, the climate in the country, but there's still a lot of people who they don't even touch that.
Well, COVID changed that a lot.
COVID did.
COVID changed that a lot. When we had that lockdown and people were going crazy, man, people were like, yo, I'm vulnerable out here. I need to make this happen. And that's why gun sales went up so high.
They went up. They did. But look, this just, to me, I look at this like, yeah, those numbers went way up. But I can still walk amongst the people I know and say, how many of y'all have guns and how many of y'all don't? And the majority of them still don't have guns. And that's what it increased.
You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised, Gray man. I would venture to say, just like LeeMack said, his instructor walked in and had a whole bunch of guns on him. You never know when people got guns on them. I mean, listen, man, I've been out in so many traffic stops where I had no idea that person had a gun on them until the last minute where I say, do you have anything illegal on you, guns, drugs, anything like that? Oh, I have a gun on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll just be so surprised. And the problem that we're having in North Carolina is we have these fly-by-night instructors that are giving wrong information. And people don't know. You have people with concealed carry permits, and they don't even know they're supposed to tell the police they have a gun.
Right.
And that just it happens a lot, man. A lot of people are carrying guns. That's why I carry one everywhere I go, because I know it's probably going to be about 10 or 12 more of them around me. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I do it, especially here in North Carolina. Now, probably where you're at, it might be like that where you're at in Pennsylvania, but North Carolina, boy, we carrying some guns.
They carry down there down
yes,
south.
Sir.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is, like, I grew up in Jersey, so my grandfather was a hunter. He's from South Carolina, and he always had his guns. Always, the long guns, the short guns. He'd go to sleep, he had a pistol underneath his pillow, and so as a kid, it was not like a mystery thing. It was like, Pop's gun is under the pillow. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, the smart thing for him to do would have been to take us out and train us on it and show us and, do all of those things. But it was like, just don't touch it. It's all right. Well, you don't touch it,
Right.
These days, that don't work so well,
No, they don't. Sadly, they don't.
Well, listen, fellas, I know we had about an hour and a half, a little bit more. So I'm going to wrap it up. I appreciate y'all, chopping it up with me. As usual, we got to do it again at some point. Another shout out to LeeMack and the Great Day Cigar. Took the band off already.
All right. Is it kicking you in the head yet?
I'm starting to feel it a little bit.
Okay, now.
Starting to feel it a little bit. Nice burn line, good construction, so it's looking good. It's looking real good. I think I told you before, there's one flavor note in this cigar that I can't figure out or put my finger on, and it's still there. Like I can't. The whole time we've been here, I've been trying to figure out what this flavor note is, and I can't pick it out. It's kind of sweet. The closest thing I can say is maybe like a floral note, some type of floral note, maybe.
It
and
does.
It
does have a note in there that is that a lot of people say this is something I never tasted before, and I tend to think it's a mix of some of those tobaccos that's giving you a flavor that you don't know. I can't describe it either. I don't know what it is either. Hey, Diesel. I don't know. Do you have my email or phone number? If you don't, from Greymail, shoot me an email after this at some point. All right.
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, you know it.
Yep.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
No doubt. All right. I appreciate you, brothers. I appreciate you guys that came on the chat, and we're going to end it here. And I'll see y'all when I see you.
It was good,
Thanks
fellas.
for having me on. Appreciate it. Good time as always.
Yes, sir. Always. Y'all be good.
Right, peace.
Be good.